So we are going to be creating a report and inserting a chart. And we're going to start by using the report wizard. So we're going to go into create and choose report wizard. And the table that we want is customers. We do not want all of the fields though. So we're going to select the ones we want. And we want customer ID. We also want first name and last name. And the service contract, I believe, is what that field is. And then we're going to click on next. There are no grouping levels in this report, so we're going to click on next. You do not need to sort this report, so we're going to click on next. And as far as the layout, we want columnar. I'm going to click on next. And for our title, we want a WO chart. And then we'll click on finish. So this is what we have so far. And we are going to close out of print preview, and that takes us directly into design view. So we're going to try to limit the number of pages that display in this report. So we're going to do a couple little modifications. We're going to delete the date and page number controls that are down in the page footer. So we're going to select them and press the delete key. And after deleting those, we're going to take the right side of our grid and drag it into about 3.8, which is right where last name ends. Then we are going to go into page setup and click on columns. And for the number of columns, they would like us to have 2. And then we're going to click OK. And let's save this and go back into design and take a look. Good. Well, I might have to go into print preview. And that definitely does minimize pages by putting it into 2 columns. So let's close out of print preview. And we did say that we were going to put a chart in here. And unfortunately, we don't have enough room to put in the chart. So let's go into design view here. And we are going to have to widen this up a little bit. Now, they would actually like us to go back to where we were before we made those changes. So we're just going to click on undo. And they want us to undo to the point of the grid change. So we've undone that. So now it's wide again. And we've got to go back into page setup and columns and switch it back to 1. Okay, so we're kind of back where we started from, and we're going to adjust our title. And I'm fairly certain they aren't going to make us back out of this change. And as far as the page footer section goes, they actually want us just to position above here and make the detailed grid taller. until it's about 2 inches. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide the page footer. There's nothing in there, so it's kind of silly to display it. And we are going to be putting in a chart over on the right-hand side here. So let's go into Design and click on the More button. And then we want to choose the Chart command. Now, it just so happens on mine, I actually wouldn't need to click on More because I have it in the first row. But if you don't see it, click on More, click on Chart. And then we're going to kind of create it starting around the 5-inch mark, going kind of down and across. And then that's going to launch a wizard. In our first wizard box, we're going to choose queries, because you have to base charts on numbers, and the numbers that we want are in the query. And we're going to choose total work orders, and we're going to click on next. At this wizard box, we are going to select what we want charted, and we want serve date. So you can either double click or single click and click the arrow. And we want total work order, which is where our numbers are going to come from. And then we're going to click on next. Now we have to tell it what kind of chart we want, and we want a 3D column chart. So we're going to select that. And you'll notice if you click on the different types, it does tell you what the name is and it describes what it does. But we do want the 3D column chart. You click on next. And we're going to kind of check out this chart and make sure that we like how it looks. And it basically took the work orders and made the bars out of them because that was the only numeric field that we had, and it put the months along the bottom. So that looks fine. We're going to click on next. And it is going to relate the chart to the fields in the report based on customer ID, which is fine. We figured out that that's how they were related. So we're going to click on next. And then as far as the name goes, we are just going to keep that default and click finish. Okay, and what you should be looking at is our 3D chart. And let's go into print preview. Okay, because it's going to look different in design view than print preview, as you can see. Okay, so this is showing actual data, where when we were looking in design view, it was kind of fake data. And then you'll notice some people have empty charts. It's just because they don't have any work orders to total. So we'll close out of this and save. And the next video is going to make some further modifications.